Uh, Hello, everyone. Welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Kavitha Kanaparthi, who is the founder of Soulverse, which is a decentralized identity creation platform that is aimed at providing individuals and enterprises with secure and universal access to their digital identities. Hi, Kavitha. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Priya. Thank you for having me. And just before I think the podcast started, you had shared, that entrepreneur's journey along that began with ELI. Very humbled to be here. Very humbled to be here, and thank you for having me today.
Kavita, I would request you to introduce yourself to our audience, and uh, if you can also describe a little bit about the what is the platform. I kind of understand what the platform does, but many of our listeners, they are not from the Web3 and technology industry, so they would love to understand what is happening with the digital identity and decentralization of that. So if you can dumb down the things a little bit and explain it to our audience.
Absolutely. Though we kind of use this word very loosely, dumb it down, I want to reiterate that this is not thinking that anybody is dumb. Because there's a lot of misconception as to because how things words are used.
Mhm.
But thank you for again having me here. I'm Kavitha Kanaparthi, the founder and CEO of Soulverse. It is one of the products that are being developed under the Nexium Labs' flagship.
Mhm.
What we began to do is build a decentralized identity for entrepreneur and for industries, for users that can be used in an individual basis or in conjunction with any services or logistics businesses and things like that.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, yes, SSI, so to speak, a self-sovereign identity is not just an individual product, but it actually works in concurrence with multiple services, so to speak.
Mhm.
Just like, having Gmail doesn't really do anything unless you actually use it, right?
Okay.
Unless you actually send an email to somebody, or as the technology progressed when email was introduced, you didn't really understand why, why the hell do I want to have, an identity where I need to give my name and everything to a platform and my age proof, that proof, this proof, and all of that to kind of, ensure that you're safe on the in the digital world.
Mhm.
You wondered that in the startup and technology started to take off, and you wondered why you want, a lot of people actually resisted getting email IDs. They didn't want to, they just wanted to kind of, participate in communication in the traditional sense of things. But
Mhm.
as life progressed and as services got built and started utilizing email, let's say banking started using email to communicate with the users,
Right.
and government started using email to communicate with users. And
Hmm.
then when platforms like Facebook and everything else showed up, you actually used Gmail ID to use as your user ID. You didn't use Kavitha Kanaparthi, you didn't use your name to, set up an account. You pretty much
Hmm.
use your link to your email ID.
Right.
So as we progress today, as we take another shift into another realm of technologies,
Mhm.
so that went from traditional, technologies to Web 2 technologies. Now we are in the phase of Web 3 technologies. It's just another phase of technology. It's nothing to. So new technologies are being developed. As we go into this phase, emails won't do the job anymore. You need another, and as blockchain technologies are being utilized to build as the underlying technologies to build everything, the services, in different verticals, multiple industries. You require something to lay the base and the foundation for it. Just the way emails laid the foundation for logins, communication, networking, and all of that stuff. There is something that you require to lay the foundation in the Web3 era, space and blockchain industries. That is where SSI comes into play. That forms the foundational layer to build your identity in, either for to connect your wallets, either to identify yourself, to receive something. Let's say you need to receive a ticket once you buy your ticket. airline ticket or a movie ticket or in your travel ticket, something like that, right? A bus ticket or anything. So you either give your phone number or your email ID to receive it,
Mm-hmm.
and then use that, your QR code or something from there to utilize it, wherever you need to use it.
Right.
It's almost a similar manner based
Mm-hmm.
with blockchain technologies. You would have a wallet that, and you would receive your ticket as a verifiable credential, just a fancy name for what we call, for basically a PDF, hash form that you would, receive. Um, use that would connect to your SSI, your digital identity, and sit in your wallet. Instead of
Mm-hmm.
your email inbox, it would sit in your wallet and would be connected to your SSI, just like it identifies you through your Gmail ID or your phone number or email, any email, in the sense, so to speak. So that is the parallel path I can take to explain what SSI could be and how
Mm-hmm.
it can be utilized and what we are trying to do. So what we did was we built the entire infrastructure around it instead of
Mm-hmm.
just creating an email and saying, okay, somebody else will build whatever is needed to adopt it. Like, you need OAuth to adopt it to log into, Facebook or something like that. We went
Mm-hmm.
ahead and built all of those things instead of just building an email ID.
Got it.
That's what Soulverse has done. So it has a suite of products, Soul ID, Soulverse, Sologram, SoulScan, and then Solex, the token that empowers the entire ecosystem to make payments and all of that stuff. So
Got it.
that in short is Soulverse.
Got it.
Hope that
Can
helps you.
can you explain what these individual products do? Like what are their uses? The 4 or 5 products you just mentioned.
Sure. So Soul ID is your identity on the blockchain. It identifies you on the blockchain. Your Soul ID is created using your biometrics. You scan
Mm-hmm.
your face, and your privacy is handled very differently in the Soulverse ecosystem. We don't store it on your cell phone or in the cloud. So it's handled very differently. Your Soul ID, so to speak, is recreated. Soul ID itself contains your ID, which is
Mm-hmm.
based on the DID protocol, the Web3C protocol, and your private and public key of your wallet that
Mm-hmm.
you're creating.
Mm-hmm.
So that is Soul ID that encapsulates both your public and private key and your DID. So your Soul ID, in a way, identifies you whether you are transacting in crypto or you're transacting to receive or verify yourself using your credentials, whether it is your ID, your driver's license or your passport or your degree certificate or whatever it is that you use.
Mm-hmm.
It enables. So that is Soul ID that identifies you on
Okay.
different layers of the blockchain
Mm-hmm.
uh, for assets and credentials and all of that. Soul Wallet is where it's like your inbox. It retains all your things. It retains your assets. It retains your verifiable credentials and everything that you want to hold in the blockchain that you receive, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it is a combination of wallets, crypto wallets, and a credential wallet. So
Mm-hmm.
right now you have two different wallets in the industry, but we have combined them both
Okay.
by the unique nature of Soul ID,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that is Soul ID, and we've talked about Soul Wallet. Sologram is a way to present yourself in different environments. Let's say I'm entering a Web3 game or a metaverse or an airport, or I'm going to a club, or I'm exchanging my credentials with somebody. Instead of sending them my driver's license, even if it is in the digital form.
Mm-hmm.
I would just pick it and create an avatar so
Okay.
that it has another layer of security and privacy. It's like a QR code. You could think of it as a QR code
Mm-hmm.
embedded in an avatar. So I could look like you pretty much, but I just is my credentials that I'm sending.
Mm-hmm.
I could make myself a rabbit or fly or whatever is my fancy, a racing car, or a motorcycle that I like, or a mountain, anything,
Mm-hmm.
literally whale if I want to be.
Okay.
So my alter ego, you know,
Mm-hmm.
as such. So I can create an avatar and share it with, somebody can scan that
Mm-hmm.
and I can prove myself to be me. So when for example, when I want to enter a club, very simple example, I want to enter a
Okay.
club, I need to prove I'm 18,
Mm.
right? So I open my wallet, I scan my face, I open my wallet, I choose my driver's license, which contains the age proof,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I create an avatar using that, and the person at the door can scan it, and it gives them a yes or no answer. It doesn't tell them my age is so and so or anything like that. It just tells them, are they over 18? It gives
Mm.
them an answer that proves what I need to prove without telling them my age, my name, or anything like that. It is called a zero knowledge proof.
Mm.
It's a protocol in itself. And we use that to prove that I'm over 18. And all I did was present a QR code in the form of an avatar. That
Mm.
is Soulgram. And SoulScan is what we are using to create to regenerate your keys on the fly instead of storing them. It's a non-referential key generation protocol that we are creating. That is SoulScan. And SoulX is the Soul coin that
Mm.
powers the transactions within the Soulverse ecosystem. So
Got it.
those are the products.
Got it.
And yes, I cannot forget this. We have a Soul wrapper that
Mm.
enables the interoperability of ledgers, no
Mm-hmm.
matter what blockchain it is on, so that I'm able to transact and interact and communicate with different ID ecosystems
Mm-hmm.
on blockchains. Today, we still don't have that. And that is Soul Wrapper is the one of the key pieces that we are developing for the entire ecosystem to function. And so our vision, Soulverse's vision, is 8+ billion, identity for 8+ billion people in the world. So
Mm.
we are not, we're ambitious, but we're not saying that you only need to have Soul ID. We would love for you to have a decentralized identity, no matter who creates it. But
Got
we
it.
want to enable that adoption
Got it.
so that but no matter which ID you have, you're able to communicate with me. It's like no matter Priya has a different and right, like you have a different email ID, most likely you have a Eli, Priya at eli.com, or and you can actually communicate with me too, though I don't
Mm.
have eli.com email ID.
Got
Simple.
it. Got it. Interesting. Thanks, Kavita, for setting up the context and providing a simplified view of what you guys are doing and what is happening in the Web3 world. But just curious, like when you design a platform like that, I
Mhm.
understand the early adopters will be the people who are already aware of the Web3 world. They're present in the metaverse and so on. But for widespread adoption, like for use by common people, don't you think they'll rather use a Google provided service like that? For example, you gave the example of email. So now emails are more secure. They have two-factor authentication, and eventually there are going to be more layers of security of authentication, and they can also say passwords. Eventually some more things will come to that. They might add wallets and so on. So I mean, how are you thinking about making this mainstream, making it accessible to everyone?
Absolutely. Um, it's a very it's a great point actually. The two-factor authentication, the OTPs, and the pass keys. That the pass key is the newest one,
Mm.
and we have Google Authenticator. That's the Google environment that the Google has created. It's the
Right.
ecosystem that Google has created, right? Google didn't just create a Gmail, and that is
Mm.
why you actually reach out for a Gmail more than you would reach out for any other competitor's emails, right?
Mm.
Because you have an entire ecosystem that you can actually utilize. Great point for me to set up my point as well, right? So Solverse has done a very similar ecosystem,
Mm.
right? So you can actually do away with two-factor authentication. You can actually do away with their OTPs and all of that. OTP theft itself is a high risk factor,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, United States, just United States in 2023 lost about $43 billion to identity theft and OTP
Mm.
theft,
Okay.
right? And so across the globe, it is going to be about, I think, over 2 trillion, or very, very soon.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about the the GDP of some of these countries, right? They're competing with the theft of your through OTPs and identities. The
Mm.
GDP is competing with the amount of theft across the
Yeah.
globe, right? So imagine that one in a country like USA's and China's that are comparable GDPs, there is
Mm.
amount of a theft that is happening across the globe.
Great.
So imagine how much money is being lost year on year to identity theft, the OTP theft, and basically the login, the theft of passwords and logins.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the reason why we are doing what we are doing. That is the whole point of us not storing anything, having a non-referential key generator.
Mm-hmm.
That is the whole point of spending so much time and money and energy and thought process and innovation, R&D and all of that, creating something like a soul scan
Mm-hmm.
that would ensure that you're not storing anything in your wallet also, right?
Yeah.
In your cloud and on any physical device, so to speak, that can actually be robbed. Somebody can steal. What we have today in the wallets is you have to write down the 12 words. If you lose them, you lose them. If you have taken a screenshot, despite somebody warning you, somebody has the malware to read those, from your photos, and you have lost everything in your wallet. So to
Mm.
avoid all of those things, to ensure that if I lost my phone and if I have not saved the keys that are attached to my Google Authenticator, I've lost everything.
Mm.
So we're trying to address every single aspect of what is happening in the world currently today and what we can do and how we can address them with some of the solutions that we can build, right? When like mentioned about why would somebody want to move to a different technology platform while
Mm.
they're comfortably sitting on something today?
Right.
If you ask somebody, are you aware of the theft? They would probably tell you yes. Did
Mm.
you actually have an issue of somebody warning you that a platform like Google itself warning you that your password has been exposed to, certain hacking or something, like it is in a hacking data in a hacked database or something like that? They
Mm-hmm.
would probably tell you yes. So would they want a solution for that not to happen? I'm sure they would tell you yes as well. Are they comfortable today to moving to something new? We're not, that is something we need to put out there and educate and, ensure that people understand it. Just the
Mm-hmm.
same way when we were going to the banks and taking a token and carrying our passbook physically, we were sure that our money was safe,
Mm.
right? Our money was not being stolen. Our money, nobody knew how much balance we had in our account. We
Right.
were happy about that. Only if I opened my passbook, somebody could tell that I have so much money in my account. Nobody
Mm.
knew. Do we have that comfort today? Though we gave up that entire thing and we moved to a digital banking platforms, right?
Mm.
We don't have that safety today. Literally, almost you can't even count the number of people who probably know how much balance you have in your account. You're
Right.
spending, how you spend it, how where you go. When you probably went to the bank,
Mm.
somebody is actually aware of it. We gave up that comfort of actually having our passbook in our hands physically.
Mm.
We gave up that comfort and moved to another system because it gave us probably an ease of having not having to go walk to the bank, to the neighborhood bank, and
Mm.
probably have access to an ATM whenever I need the money, and have access to a debit card and a credit card. So we gained some comforts from moving to another platform.
Mm.
So that is what we would need to educate, and that's what we need to show. And we need to show that they're going to do away with having losing their passwords, probably have their money being lost, somebody knowing exactly when they spend something. All of that is going to become private to kind of in a way of having your passbook in your hand
Mm.
in a digital form, in a
Got it.
decentralized wallet. Your decentralized wallet is similar in a way to your passbook, your
Mm-hmm.
physical passbook that you had.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you those comforts of having your privacy,
Okay.
of your data not being out there, and only people actually peeping into your passbook, and only if you give them permission.
Mm.
You're kind of going backwards, but yet you're kind of going so much further in
Mm.
technology. You're
Got
bringing
it.
the comfort back of that into the newer technologies.
Mm. So if I were to oversimplify this, when the technologies came, like the digital tech, where you could have passwords which other people can have access to. Let's say you have some data in your bank account which can be seen by a bank employee. You are taking control of all that, and you are saying that, hey, I have something in my hand which has the permission to give you access, or
Yes.
I can also deny whether you can
Yes.
see my stuff or not. uh,
Yes.
Having said that, I think you spoke about the theft. Almost $2 trillion are getting theft every year. um, I think whenever new technologies come, in fact, the more and more technology layers you add on to something, the more complex it becomes. The vulnerabilities also increase, because
Mhm.
multiple loopholes start coming out, for theft, and thieves also become more smart day by
Smarter.
day. Having
Yes.
said that, how can you say the system is foolproof, and what are the loopholes that you foresee in the system that you are developing?
There are already a lot of thefts happening in the blockchain industry as well, using
Yeah.
blockchain technologies, right? So, like I said, people fall prey to the same logic, just the same way they give away their passwords and their OTPs to somebody impersonating somebody. People have, they may have a problem. They may be locked out of their wallet and they are seeking help from somebody. And all the decentralized wallets warn you ahead of time when you're setting up a decentralized wallet that if you lose your passphrases, the key phrases, right,
Mm,
there is no way the wallet can help you get them back. So you need to be in control. So the wallet is giving you control, which people don't really realize and lose them. They write on a piece
mm,
of paper, they forget where they kept it, and sometimes they just throw it away, or somebody throws it away on behalf of them, not realizing the importance of it. And so many Bitcoin have been lost.
mhm,
And even today, some people fall prey to saying that, okay, fine, we're going to airdrop something to you. We need your wallet address. And somehow they are encouraged to put in those, private keys, the passphrases and the key phrases into some form online, and people steal, and that happens. There is
mhm,
a very a direct way of doing it, but the indirect ways, the hacking ways, where the bridges, there is, like we talked about, the interoperability between two ledgers, right?
mm,
Let's say you have two crypto, the blockchains, where one crypto is being kind of converted to another crypto. The bridge in between, there is big, so there is a mediator. So the
mhm,
money comes in to the mediator and then converted and goes out to the to the to the person, to the next wallet.
mhm,
Somewhere in the bridge, the vulnerabilities are plenty. People didn't think about the vulnerability of the bridges. People thought about, okay, fine, this person is approving it and it is
mm,
actually going to another wallet. So approving, yes, it is locked, it is taken care of because it is being approved by the
mm,
private key. But there's a mediator who holds again the keys to that pool of money that is sitting in there. The
mhm,
vulnerability is there
okay.
because you again trusted a centralized kind of a system
Mm,
where the money is coming into to a central place and then again going out. So those bridges have been hacked to multi-million dollars worth of crypto, either
mm,
lost, Solana lost, that lost, and so many things were lost, in these from these bridges. And the wallets are being hacked, and all of that stuff is being done. So
mm,
people are also getting smarter and smarter, and hackathons are being run to find these vulnerabilities. If you look at, everybody talks about a hackathon today. Every event, a Web3 event, every blockchain event has a hackathon today to find
mm,
these vulnerabilities. Cybersecurity is huge. I mean, if you look at the penetration testing, it has gone into leaps and bounds. The business itself has gone leaps and bounds because all these vulnerabilities about from APIs, incoming, outgoing,
Mm-hmm.
and all of that stuff. And you provide the SDK to build on the technologies that you have provided. Somebody could maliciously insert something and build something else and probably mimic you while creating the vulnerabilities in a different product, not even realizing that they're creating some of these things. So there is a need for huge security testing across the board,
Mm-hmm.
from the design time to the coding time, the building time, and deployment. There is a huge need for security testing at every stage, and every time you bring in a partner for
Mm.
strategic partnerships for deploying a product, because you may not develop a piece of the entire end-to-end solution, there's a
Mm.
vulnerability there. So you need to ensure that that is tested as well, and the connection is tested as well. And it's a great idea to always have white hat hackers on your payroll to ensure that they're constantly testing the vulnerability from within and from outside as well,
Got
because
it.
somebody has developed your code, and
Mm.
though somebody else has tested your code, sometimes that some of the vulnerabilities from within can be missed as well,
Mm.
that
Absolutely.
that people may not, when you're an entrepreneur, you trust everybody, because you're hiding them, you don't realize that you need to test the codes from within as well.
Got it. I heard a news, I think sometime back, that somebody lost a lot of bitcoins because the Bitcoin keys were stored in a hard drive and that
Right.
got lost. Uh,
Yes.
so I think when you trust the system so much and you eliminate the human intervention altogether, these sort of problems also do arise. Uh,
Absolutely.
for example, in a Gmail or in a banking password scenario, you can simply click on forget password and enter some documents, or maybe have some human intervention. Maybe a bank employee will reset your password. What are the protocols in the domain that you are working in to cater to those scenarios?
Yes. So that is one of the vulnerabilities that we are, and the risks that we are addressing through Soul Scan. So there is not going to be a password, so to speak, that you will forget. So there is no password, there is no key that you need to remember, or you will lose. So there
Mhm.
are no key phrases that are required that you will lose. There is no passcode that you need to put in that you will lose. Your face is your pass key, your passcode, your OTP, your key phrases, and everything. Basically, your face. So the non-referential key generation is the key phrase here, which
Mhm.
basically means that you don't need to have a password or remember a password. You don't need
Okay.
to receive an OTP or have an OTP. You don't need to write down the key phrases, because there won't be any key phrases.
Mhm.
So we removed that. What happens if there is no intervention? What happens then? Right?
Mm.
There is nothing to happen, because you don't need a human intervention, because you are your own intervention,
Mm.
right? So, and that's it. So that is how SoulScan, the number of things that SoulScan is actually about to solve is a plenty.
Got it. Uh, can you tell what are the different challenges that you have faced while building and growing this venture?
Everything that an entrepreneur faces, Priya. Um, of course, finding the right team, finding the right, uh, I would say, skilled minds. That is absolutely, the technologies are new. So, finding somebody who is extremely experienced in the Web3 technologies or the blockchain technologies is not easy to find. We
Mm-hmm.
have found a few, and then we have trained the rest, right? And that is one. And the other is to see the vision beyond the basics,
Mm-hmm.
and enable the team to be motivated and inspired to do that. And I'm happy to say that the team today is extremely motivated, is extremely inspired, and comes with solutions for small things that we feel like we need to include to make user experience a better and better one as we go down the roadmap. The
Mm-hmm.
third one is to keep increasing the runway until we find the right partner to fund the project,
Okay.
right? So always, you're burning
Mm,
through cash that you have as you increase the runway. So unless you find the right partners or the right angels who back you, it is very, very hard. And we had those challenges somewhere in between where it almost became a tie, like we were almost running out of money within a month.
mm,
We came to that point where, and then suddenly we had this huge infusion from angels
okay.
who believed, who already funded us. And then they saw the place that we were in and that we were at a crossroad.
Mm,
And we were just about to get to the point of launching the token and completing the beta version of the product and hiring a few more hands that we required to complete all of these things. And they came through for us and they extended our runway so that we are comfortable enough to find the right partners to fund us as VCs, because finding the right VC partner is also key. You just don't want to take anybody on board until you actually there is a good match made in heaven.
mm,
And it's just like a marriage. Every VC and an entrepreneur's relationship is like a marriage, that they understand your vision, you understand their requirements for profit and for being able to exit. And they understand your vision and have the patience and also have I would say, the resources to guide you and to bring to the table, not just with just the money as well. So we are comfortable today to find the right partners. So these challenges have to be handled with a lot of patience, a lot of vision, and a lot of no sleep nights. And we faced all of that. And we're still facing it. We still will
mhm,
face it until I would say the first client has the product. Today we are at a pre-revenue stage because we are in um, advanced stages of communication with strategic partnerships, strategic, client acquisitions, and all of that. So we are
mhm,
at a pre-revenue, I would say pre-revenue stage. So
okay,
by 2025, the first quarter, we're looking at revenue generation. So
mhm,
if we get there, we are able to wait for a good VC partnership. And that comes with a lot of ifs and buts, right? Those ifs and buts give you a lot of sleepless nights. But you need to keep waking up every morning and plugging away at the to-do list that you have created for yourself for that day to make sure the next day you have ticked off 10 things out of the 20 things that you've written, and make sure that the next ten things that you add the next day are taking you somewhere in the roadmap. The challenges need to be met.
mhm,
um, the strong head and the strong heart need to be taken care of. Take care of yourself. You're actually, working your way through this mesh of things. Make sure that you have patience. Make sure that you think about your vision, and make sure that you're healthy, mind, body, and a sound mind and a sound and a healthy body get you to your vision.
got it.
Ensure that is there while you're walking the path of hardship.
Got it. Speaking of revenue, I just had this question in my mind. How are you going to monetize your platform? Like, it can go the B2B route, or you can simply sell your platform to the customers who are looking for, solutions like that. So, I mean, how are you going to monetize your platform?
Um, Multiple ways, Priya. It's going. We have a suite of products, and then we have our wallet that will bring us subscription revenue. The
Mm,
wallet is has a subscription of $2.99 per year.
mhm,
It's not per month. It is probably the most loaded wallet with features that comes with the cheapest subscription fee per year.
mhm,
And compared to many other competitors and some of the big players in the industry, which charge in the upward of, I would say, $36 to $72 per year,
mhm.
right? And without actually giving you all the blockchain features and even not even a decentralized wallet.
Sure.
That is one revenue stream that we would bring. And the other is a product as a service. We would
Mm,
provide the ecosystem, the Soulverse ecosystem, depending on what solution an enterprise is looking for, what an industry is looking for. So we would provide the solution, and then we would have service level agreements with them, and that is one type of monetization.
Hmm.
And then we would look at our API and, key APIs and SDKs bringing revenue. And we look at our IPs, licensing revenue. So with multiple revenue streams that we're looking at, so we are not limited to waiting for the revenue to kick in. So,
Mm-hmm.
and we will be adding revenue streams as we go.
Got it. My final question. Tell us, what have you learned about entrepreneurship in your brief stint of doing being an entrepreneur, and what would you advise to other entrepreneurs out there who are in their planning stage? They are thinking about entrepreneurship but don't know how to get started. How would you recommend them?
Okay. When we think of entrepreneurs, we're thinking about generally what comes to your mind is the college pass outs, right? The early college pass outs who want to test out something, or somebody who's worked for 10 years and probably kept a little bit of money on the side and want to test it out and see if they will succeed in turning their idea or their vision into successful. But we need to understand that there are people of all ages in the entrepreneurship,
Hmm.
right? And all genders and all and identify different ways, and
Right.
challenges are different for everyone.
Hmm.
There will be challenges that come with your which stage of life you're in, right?
Hmm.
There will be challenges that come with the network that you have available to you. If you're young, you have a smaller network of people. So you need to look for advisors, you need to look for mentors, you need to look for incubators and all of that. So
Hmm.
you have different challenges there. So if you have a little part of money available to you because you work for a few years and you put some money away, then you need to look at what kind of runway you have available to you and how soon you're going to burn through that money. So you don't want to plan beyond that. So you need to
Hmm.
look at how you're going to plan for things, right? But if you're a seasoned entrepreneur, don't take too many things for granted because
Hmm.
you could be, testing your feet in a completely different industry, with a completely different network that is needed. You may try to fall back on the network that you have,
Hmm.
like let's say from Web 2 to Web 3, they will be of no use to you. You
Hmm.
will need a completely different network, a different type of investor, a different type of employee, a different type of, market altogether,
Hmm.
research altogether, different R&D altogether. So be mindful, write everything down in comparison to who you are first as a person, what you
Mhm.
have available to you, in terms of all the things we're talking about and how far you can stretch. Worst comes, it comes to that where you've run out of money and you need to extend your runway. Do you
Okay.
have family and friends, or do you have an awesome best friend who's willing to take a chance on you, or you have a bank loan that you could actually take, and are you willing to take that risk until you find your match made in heaven? Somebody who's going to come and say, I trust you, I believe you. Though you're a stranger, here is your money as a VC or a pre-seed or a seed or a stage A, B, C, whatever it is,
Hmm.
right? All of that stuff. So you map that out along with your vision. You write the roadmap for your product and your service, and you write your personal roadmap. See how you match them both. There's got to be at least a very basic match.
Hmm.
Otherwise, you can see yourself struggling at every step,
Got it.
right? And that is what I would tell an entrepreneur. Ensure that you have a personal vision as well, while you have a vision for your product and your service. Go out there and conquer the world. And I am all up for supporting. I'm happy to mentor. I'm happy to help. I'm happy to share my vision, my wisdom, and also probably share some of our Soulverse Foundation's ability to fund your products and projects out there. But make sure that you come with the vision for yourself. Personal vision and a product vision. Both need to match.
Understood. On this note, we will close the session. Thanks for joining us, Kavita. It was a pleasure to have you on our platform. Plus, we also had a lot of learnings around Web3 and how technology is changing too. transform the day-to-day use cases. So I personally do look forward to the day when Solvers is going to change the use cases like airline ticketing or uh,
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
thank you,
You
thank
know,
you, Kavi.
Eli's, content could be on the blockchain and you could monetize it as well. And you could actually be giving permission for people to actually see it, right? So your permissioned data is going to be the key, and data management, records management, access management, which we talked about, like the logins and all of that, are going to be big eventually. And if this is the right time to be in the space, and if somebody wants to connect with me, I'm on LinkedIn. Soulverse is on LinkedIn. Connect with us, talk to us, and happy to hear ideas. There are a lot of good things coming up that you can participate. We're going to be participating in hackathons and give out ideas for people to, and so that is one way to enter entrepreneurship. Test your ideas through hackathons. That's one way to do it.
Absolutely. Well, once again, thanks, Kavita, and wonderful having you on our platform.
Thank you, Priya. Have a good day. Thank you.
You
Bye
too.
bye.
Bye bye.